And I think there's different things that I've done to create my story as well. So one is applying for different awards. You know, is there an award at your school, a scholarship in your community? You know, for me, some different awards have been Young Entrepreneur Awards I've applied for, the Business Week 25 Under 25 Award. And, you know, as an example, let's take the Business Week 25 Under 25 Award. That award isn't really the top 25 entrepreneurs in the country. There's no way to identify that, who that is. Also, there's a limited staff. The staff can't go out and comb all these stories. So one, you have to get on their awareness. And then at some level, I think in any competition, if people like you and think you're cool, you have a higher chance of winning. That's just the reality. That's how things happen. So there's lots of ways to just finding out who the decision makers are and building relationships. In a lot of bestseller campaigns, the more I've learned about it, you know, my book is an Amazon.com bestseller, but a lot of people don't realize that to become an Amazon.com bestseller, you have to be in the top 100 on Amazon, and Amazon actually calculates their bestseller campaign every day. So it's actually a lot easier to get on than you would think. And the same thing is true with the New York Times bestseller list. I've learned that you can actually, I think it'll cost a few $100,000, but a lot of books, more than you'd expect, actually buy themselves onto the New York Times bestseller list. So it's the reality. And you mentioned how it's done in Broadway, and a lot of it's social proof. So what's the tactical way you could do it? You know, I think one way, as you're getting started, you want to build social proof. Even I remember when we started the tour, you know, we had never done it before and we had no proof that would work. But when we got those first schools that signed a contract, we even just got the schools to write a testimonial to say how excited they are and how much of a difference they think it's going to make. It's something small, but we just took what we have and it's social proof. So the next person say, wow, this person is doing it, I'm going to do it. And that's how people make decisions. So there's all these little things you can do to manufacture the story of your product. So the media, so potential clients will, when they see it, they won't think, wow, this is an idea that may not work, but they'll see, wow, like other people are doing this. This is a great opportunity. You know, this person is an expert. How can I work with them? Would you agree with that in terms of creating that story around a product or a personal brand as well?
I mean, I agree with the stuff that you're saying. You know, I think that there's a lot going on there, right? There's like I mean, all of that is very useful, and there are very creative ways to do it. There's ways to get testimonials. There's ways to get to build that social proof for people. And I think ultimately, like at the core of it is like, it's just in a lot of ways, it's like convincing yourself, right? Like a lot of this stuff is very useful, but at the end of the day, it's like you can do things that convince yourself, you can do things that convince other people, but in your heart, like in your core, like you just need to be very, very sure of like what you're doing. And like when you have that certainty, when you have that just unwavering feeling that you know exactly what's going on, you transfer that to other people. It's almost like every time you engage with someone into a situation, there's like two realities. And whoever's reality is like stronger sort of like wins. And it's because most people actually want to kind of like let their reality go. They want someone else to kind of tell them how reality is in a lot of ways. Because people actually on a deep level have no idea what's going on in reality, right? Like anyone that thinks they know what's happening in reality really has no clue, right? It's like even the quantum physicists are like, they're really not sure at a certain level what's happening. So at the very basic level, no one has a clue what's going on. If you understand that, you realize that the people that kind of take a position of like certainty and like knowing what's happening, those people, because everyone at their deepest level is kind of unsure about themselves and about the world and what's happening, they're actually really looking for someone that's confident that can understand what's happening and is able to give them direction. If you're congruent, right? If you've gotten your software right, if you're doing something out of like the closer and the more you can align what you're doing with like the purity of your heart and just like knowing that you're doing something that's having a positive impact and like coming from the right place, that becomes like unwavering. And when you interact with someone, it like melts their reality in a way to where they're going to like see what you're up to and they're going to want to be a part of that. And you're not coming from a place of like trying to get them to approve of you. You're not trying to like seek something from them. It's just like, here's what I'm doing. Here's why it's important. Here's why I believe it. But on a deeper level, you're sub-communicating even just non-verbally through your energy how important what you're doing is. And I think that can be something that transforms people's worlds so where they want to be a part of what's happening with you.
Yeah, and it's kind of a fake it till you make it.